How you guys doing? Once again, I'm back. It's your man, I'm 55. I'm here, like I said, keeping my promise. I'm going to show you guys something else. Let me cut that up a little bit, just a little bit more. You guys, show you a couple of other dishes that you guys could actually use as far as Southern cuisine. Like I said last week, we're going to go from New Orleans to Mississippi today, so I'm going to keep my word there as well. Once again, I'd like to send a shout out to all those who actually have been supporting, who've been watching, who've been subscribing. Thank you. And to all those high schools out there who need a culinary arts teacher. Wink wink. So today, red beans and rice. So what we're going to actually go with today. You guys already know how I do. You know my ritual. You know how I feel about your garlic. Okay. It's a pretty standard thing in a lot of the things that I actually do. So we want to make sure that our garlic is actually cut up ourselves. Once again, no store-bought. And it goes in. Alright, sound we want to hear. That's good. One of the things that I also, go ahead and get this down. You know it, I can't pronounce it, but you can. Alright, I always seem to forget Worcestershire. Alright, so I'm going to need that as well, so we're going to go ahead and put that in. I'm going to put about a teaspoon of that, or a tablespoon, I'm sorry. Tablespoon of that, and there we go. Once again, you guys know the color. At this point in time, if you've been following, you know the color that we're actually looking for. It's a golden brown, so that's what we're actually doing. Alright, you know, while I start this other one over here, you can come and look at what we got here. Alright, so once we actually get this to a nice little golden brown and everything, we're going to actually put our Trinity in. You know, Trinity, you know how that works. The onion, garlic, and, onion, celery, and bell pepper. My apologies. Onion, celery, and bell pepper. I'm going to cut this up a little bit. Loosen it up. Alright, so once again, for time's sake, like I said, what we want to do is actually get that to a golden brown. We're actually getting there at this point. For time's sake, I'm going to go ahead and put my Trinity in now, so you guys know how it works. Start with the onions this time. It really doesn't matter. I'm going to actually start with onions. That's going to go down in there. Gonna go with the celery. All right, celery, a lot of times you guys probably want to dice it up a little bit because celery tends to be like very big, chunky. All right, so we want to go ahead and put that down in there. The sausages, as you guys can see, we're going to put those in, but those don't go into the very end. Okay, and we put the bell pepper. Oh, that's something to feel. All right, make that work. All right. Get this around really, really good. All right, so we're gonna let this go for about 3 to 4 minutes. We're gonna let the Trinity go for about 3 to 4 minutes. All right. Once we actually get good flavor in the air, I'll say about 3 or 4. You'll be able to smell it, like always, if you can't already smell it. Once we actually get that going, okay, you got a choice. You can either choose to use water. Now, I always say with water, water is the enemy of flavor. Don't get me wrong, it sustains life, but it's the enemy of flavor, all right? You either choose water or you can actually choose to use cooking stock, chicken stock, all right? It can even be unsalted chicken stock, because you know how I am. I try to be somewhat aware of like sodium intake, you know. But like I said, chicken stock works pretty well. All right, so it's been about 2 to 3. If you could come over here, please. All right. So, take stock, okay? And what you actually want is you want about, I'd say, what's the measuring cup? What you actually want, you want about 4 cups. About 4 cups of water, if not water, 4 cups of chicken stock. One of these boxes actually equates to 4 cups. So I'm going to go ahead and pour that in there. So, you can look at that. All right, so we actually wait for that to come to a boil. We have red kidney beans. Now, red kidney beans, you need to make sure that they've actually been sitting in water for an extended period of time. Come on, doesn't he see me? Red kidney beans, they sit in water for an extended period of time. All right. Obviously through a colander. We're gonna make sure we wash these well. Should be clean. So really, really good. All right, so like I said before, I say a minimum of 5 hours. That's what I generally do. But really, honestly, what directions usually tell you to do, make sure you actually wash those off overnight. Let them sit overnight. So I'm gonna put them down in here. Wait for this to actually come to a boil. Now, in the meanwhile, what I'm going to also do, I know not everybody's familiar with catfish, but like I said, on I-55, that's something that we do on a regular basis, all right? So what I have here is very hard to find in my area, but what I have here, got a whole catfish right here. And what we're going to actually do is we're going to actually put that down in there. We're going to make that look good by the time it's all over, said and done. First off, when we're actually frying dishes, let me explain something to you. A lot of people do not understand when frying dishes. I'm not going to say this is the enemy. This is all good when you have large crowds. But when you actually want to savor flavor, especially as you're actually frying items and everything, you guys actually want to use the old-fashioned skillet. An old-fashioned cast iron, if you got one, mom's house, you guys want to actually do that. One of the things that I do, especially when I'm talking about like catfish or something like this, I'm going to actually coat it in lemon. I'm going to actually allow that to sit for about 10 to 15 minutes or so. Honestly, I prefer a minimum of 20 minutes. And I put my own spices. You can come up with your own spices. I know that one of the spices that I definitely would advise, paprika. It's always good, especially for your fried chicken fryers and everything. And once again, the original Tony's actually does it some justice. So I'm going to actually cut this up because this is just about ready to go. All right. And as you guys can see, in cornmeal, all right, you can cheat. You can, I generally cheat. I use the fish fry that they actually have in the store. But when I'm actually trying to show out, like I'm trying to do now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually coat it in cornmeal, as you guys know. For those of you who don't, I'm going to coat it in cornmeal. Okay. Once again, it's important that you guys allow your flavors to actually sit in there. So you want to squeeze lemon on there. You want to put your own seasonings. Like I said, I can't give you all of mine, but I gave you guys a couple of what I have here. Like I said, that Tony's and paprika definitely does it justice. All right, so we got that coated right. We got that dressed right. And there we go. So, and I'm quite sure you guys remember the test you used to watch your moms actually do back in the day. Take the water, and so we don't have a sizzle. There we go. Okay. The louder the sizzle, the more ready it is to actually go. In the meanwhile, what I have in the pot here is starting to come to a boil. And I need that. Here we go. Okay, so seasonings for the red beans and rice. And meanwhile, this is going to actually heat up. Seasonings for the red beans and rice. Once again, we want cayenne pepper is a major ingredient, so we definitely want the Tony's spicy, like I mentioned last week. I'm going to take about a tablespoon of that. Get it down in there. All around, that should be good. Okay. But then we're going to also take about a half tablespoon of ground sage. And that sage is going to give it a lot of flavor. Okay. Get that down in there. Get it in there good. And we're just going to break it up. So, here we go. That sounds like it's about ready. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and break that up. Okay, got the sage in there. We're going to take 2, depending on your spice level, we're going to take 2 to 3 bay leaves. There's a 1. There's a 2, and there's a 3. I like a little spice. All right. So, I'm going to take those and we're going to just make sure we stir those around. Got that broken up, got that all down in there. Last but not least, what we're going to actually do is we're going to apply the beans that we've already washed and allowed to sit overnight. Now these beans are going to take a couple hours to cook. Obviously we don't have that type of time. I don't want to hold you guys up that much, but if we can show you once again. All right, so we got it poured down in there, okay? So once again, all we're going to do is wait for that to come to a boil. Once it comes to a boil, we're going to allow it to simmer at a medium heat. All right, mixture around there. All right. The sausages, we won't actually apply these. We won't even apply these until the end. We won't apply these till the end. So once the beans have actually softened up and everything, and they're just about ready to eat, we're going to put the sausages, allow those to cook like the last 15 minutes, 10, 15 minutes or so. All right. And meanwhile, it sounds like our fish is about ready to go. So once again, turn it up a little bit. Okay, that's a good sound. All right. Let's see what we got here. One thing about fish, I know a lot of people like that hot sauce on it, but the way I look at it, man, if they prep it right, you don't need no hot sauce. Okay, so I'm gonna put that on down in there. It's a good sound. All right, so when frying, especially whole catfish, one of the things you want to make sure that happens is you want to make sure that oil gets down in that opening right there. That is going to be an indicator as far as how done, you know, your food actually is. All right, so we got that in there. And it's also going to be important that you guys remember to actually rotate. Now, this probably went in a little early, but nonetheless, we got some sizzle going. So we're just going to keep it going the way that it is. Meanwhile, like I always say, you want to clear your area. Once again, anybody who's actually interested, if you like what you actually see, you guys can always get at me at tasteofi55. I don't think I was making that clear last time. Tasteofi55 at gmail.com. If there's anybody actually interested, once again, for those who have actually subscribed, I would like to thank you. All right. Okay, so now we got some good sound going. Meanwhile, now my beans are coming to a boil. Now I just do that to actually mix everything around, make sure those greens are in there pretty well. think about red beans and rice. So, what it's good for? It could be a side dish as well as, especially when you put the sausages in there, it could be a side dish as well as a main entree. All right, so you can go either way. For all my young men out there, for those of you who don't know, I coach ball too. So all my young men out there trying to put a little extra muscle on, you got the protein and calories you guys actually need in a safe way. So it always makes something good. Now, one of the most important things when you're actually cooking catfish, there we go, got a good sizzle. When cooking catfish, you guys want to make sure that you rotate it regularly. So I'm going to go ahead and rotate now. Okay, yeah. All right, come along. Alright, so once again, I want to make sure this oil gets on the inside here. That's going to be an indicator, for me, I've always used that as an indicator of how done it actually is. Okay, beans are now coming to a boil. So the beans, for the most part now, all you got to do is come back and stir them every once in a while so they don't, you know, like clump together, like all your greens don't clump together or anything like that. But I think I got some pretty good consistency there. So what we're going to actually do now is we're going to go ahead and put a top over this and allow this to take care of itself. That's one side. Alright, once you put the top on, take it down, minimal heat. I want my flame to be on low, and I'm about done there. Alright, so we're actually just about done as well. Okay, so remember, fish is a light meat. It's going to take a long time. Alright, all I'm pretty much trying to do at this point, drop it there. All I'm pretty much trying to do at this point is make sure that that oil gets down in the center. And get as much oil in there as possible. I'm probably going to rotate it one more time just to make sure I get the oil in on the other. This one's just about done. You know, I like it crispy, so I'm going to get that little piece back on there. Once again, when you want intimate flavor, go with skillets. If you guys want to feed a whole bunch of people at once, you guys can actually go with deep fries. Alright? Last one. Alright, so just about done here. Like I said, the beans take about 2 hours to actually cook. I already have some pre-made at the end of the day. This is an idea of how you kind of want things to look. Alright, so now that my fish is done, I'm going to take that out and you have yourself Southern plate. Let me get that crispiness right there. I'm sorry, I gotta get my little crispies here. And get that. And you got yourself a Southern plate. Us country boys, especially around that Mississippi area, this is what we like. This is how we like to eat. All right. So, with that being said, it's red beans and rice, side of fried catfish, or vice versa, however you guys want to put it. Once again, anybody who's interested, you guys can get at me at tasteofi55@gmail.com. tasteofi55@gmail.com. All right. Next time we catch up, we're going to be dealing with oxtails. I know that oxtail is normally associated with West Indian and Caribbean culture, but us country boys, we do that too. All right. So if you're interested, stay tuned in. And I'll see you guys in a couple weeks. Thank you.